Chetan for Gizmo Times, and you're watching a quick comparison of the Vivo U20 with the Xiaomi's Redmi Note 7 Pro. So this is the Vivo U20 that was recently launched, and the difference with this along with the Vivo U10 is quite a lot. But how does this differ with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 675 powered Redmi Note 7 Pro? We have already done a comparison of the Redmi Note 8 with the Vivo U20, and with the Redmi Note 8 there was a compromise of the chipset. It did come with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 665, which is not as good as the 675, but the Pro variant of the Redmi Note 7 had the 675. So these two phones actually have a similarity with the processor. It's the same chipset that's powering the two phones. It's Snapdragon 675 with the Adreno 712 GPU, and there's no difference there, which is quite a good thing because Vivo has went on to come up with a good phone that offers a decent chipset and a decent performance as well. And about the phones here, you can see that the MIUI version of the Redmi Note 7 Pro is MIUI 11, which is the latest MIUI version, but it's still based on Android 9 Pie. On the other side, the Vivo's U20 also is based on Android 9 Pie, and it's FunTouch OS 9.2, the latest from this company as well. So the custom interface has anyway do differ quite a bit, and they offer their own set of features for both the phones having its own set of features for the better experience. It all depends on the user's preference on what they like in terms of the features that are offered, and it's all dependent on what you need from your phone, and basically you always adjust to what the UI is offering you. So let's start the comparison here with the design. Here you can see that the Vivo U20 is clearly going to be a bit bigger than the Redmi Note 7 Pro in terms of the size, and that is because the Vivo U20 has a 6.53-inch display while the Redmi Note 7 Pro has a 6.3-inch display. So the size of the phone itself might mostly depend on that. And even with the thickness, it's 8.9 mm for the Vivo U20 while it's 8.1 mm for the Redmi Note 7 Pro, which is the reason why you'll see the camera bump to be bigger on the Redmi Note 7 Pro, and that also leads to the rocking of the phone whenever you're using the phone. You can see that this shakiness is because you can see the bump on the camera back on the back, and that is what leads to the rocking of the device, and that is present with the Redmi Note 7 Pro, and that is not much with the Vivo U20, and that is because of the thicker body. So the camera doesn't go much out of the body's chassis, and then the display size is 6.53 inch here and 6.3 inch here, and both are having the same resolution of 2340 into 1080 pixels. Earlier the Vivo U10 had a HD plus resolution display, while now it's a full HD plus. So there's quite a good difference, and it's quite a sharp display. But on the other side, the Redmi Note 7 Pro comes with a Full HD Plus along with a Gorilla Glass 5 protection. So that advantage stays here. So it would be scratch resistant easily because of the Gorilla Glass 5. Even on the back, the point that we missed out is with the protection that is given on the back. Here the Vivo U20 won't come with any protection because it's a plastic bag, or you can call it a polycarbonate bag, while on the other side the Redmi Note 7 Pro comes with a glass bag, and it might have a protection. We aren't really sure about that, but still it is prone to breakage. The scratches would be easily seen on the Vivo U20, but it won't break a lot because it's plastic and it's not the glass. So there lies the difference. In case you want a better looking phone or a better feel, I mean if you want a premium feel, it would be on the Redmi Note 7 Pro, but it is also prone to breakage. And you can see the gradient design here. It's a vertical gradient on the Redmi Note 7 Pro while it's an S-shaped one on the Vivo U20. So there's the difference. I feel the Vivo U20 is looking a bit better on the back, but comfort wise I would say the Redmi Note 7 Pro was pretty comfortable to hold and use. Next, with the processor, as I said, it's the same, so the interface would be one of the reasons why again the RAM management and also the day-to-day performance might differ, but otherwise the performance is going to be almost the same on both the phones. With the camera combination, it's quite a different one here. Obviously, the Redmi Note 7 Pro came at the start of the year, around the February of this year, so there's only a dual lens camera combination. There's not much that was happening at that time in terms of cameras, except for the sensors that were used. So the Redmi Note 7 Pro's main sensor is the Sony IMX586 48 megapixel sensor with the f1.8 aperture, and it's a true 48 megapixel camera which did a brilliant job of cameras capturing or the photography from your smartphones. And then there's also a 5 megapixel f2.4 depth camera that was along with it for the depth sensing. So the portrait shots also used to come out quite good from the Redmi Note 7 Pro, but now you don't see that sensor on the Vivo U20. Now here what you see is a set of 3 cameras. In that, the primary camera is this one with a 16 megapixel sensor having the same f1.8 aperture. Next is an 8 megapixel wide angle camera. So that is one thing where the Vivo U20 is going to be better than the Redmi Note 7 Pro. It has a wide angle camera which is not present on the Redmi phone, and there's also a f2.4 2 megapixel camera with a macro lens. So here it's a quite interesting and also a different set of cameras. While the primary camera isn't as strong as what you see on the Redmi Note 7 Pro, the second and the third cameras are pretty much useful. One with the macro photography and one with the wide angle lens for the landscape photography. So the Vivo U20 has an interesting set of cameras when compared to the Redmi Note 7 Pro, and it again depends on what your photography needs are. If you need one pretty good single camera, it still is on the Redmi Note 7 Pro. But if you're someone who also wants the set of extra cameras that do their job of wide angle photos as well as macro photos, the Vivo U20 has it and the Redmi Note 7 Pro doesn't. And with a front facing camera, it's a 16 megapixel front facing camera on the Vivo U20, and it's a f2.0 aperture that you see here. And next with the Redmi Note 7 Pro, it's a 13 megapixel camera again with the same aperture size, and with the selfies again they differ in their own ways. And with the video recording, it's 4K video recording possible with the rear camera on both the phones. The last one here is the battery. It's a 5000 mAh battery that is present on the Vivo U20 and a 4000 mAh one on the Redmi Note 7 Pro. And both of them support the fast charge support, that's fast charging with 18 watt speed, and also there's a reverse charge feature available on the Vivo U20 which is not present on the Redmi Note 7 Pro. So the major differences here would be with the camera combination here, dual lens camera combination with the Sony IMX586 sensor on the Redmi Note 7 Pro, while a triple lens camera combination on this Vivo U20, and with the battery life as well, 5000 mAh versus 4000 mAh, and the reverse charging feature here, while the charging speeds are same on both of them. So the major differences were there, even with the screen size 6.53 inch and 6.3 inch, and the front facing camera 16 megapixel, 13 megapixel. So those are the major differences between the Vivo U20 and the Redmi Note 7 Pro. I'd say the Redmi Note 7 Pro still is one of the decent choices if you're someone looking for a pretty good mid-range phone from Xiaomi, and you don't have the budgets to go up to the Redmi Note 8 Pro. It still is a decent phone, but the Vivo U20 is not bad either. It's a choice you could go with if you want a long battery life, a good performance, and also a set of cameras that offer not just the regular photography but also the extra features such as the wide angle shots and the macro photography. So that's it in this comparison. I hope you like this video. If you do, share and subscribe to Gizmo Times for more. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.